welcome back. Happy Friday. Let's make sure everything is working well. Um, Gotta go yell at my banker. See you later. Sorry. All right. Well, that's a nice thing to do on a Friday afternoon. Good luck. Hello from Michigan. Checking in from Oroville, California. 3D Sam, sunny, humid Ontario, Canada. Ozzy, Southern Connecticut, and macaroon granola. Oh yeah, already got there. Gotta go yell at my banker. Have fun. Hello, Judy, from Bellevue, Nebraska. Oh, thank you, Taito Alba. Need my microphone. Too many things to keep track of. Sorry about that. You are on it, Taito Alba. You are on it. Bear with me. I have to detangle. All right. All right. I'm here now. You know what? I know I should have one of those, check off lists before I do the live stream. But I know myself. I probably would never even look at it. It's like, no, I got it. So, can you hear me now? Okay, it's Sandra Ruby. Hello from Michigan. William. Hello, Northern Connecticut, upstate New York, Pensacola. Happy anniversary. May God bless you with many more happy years together. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, it's going to be a nice little break. Once I have a week break, just to shut down my mind, my hand, everything, I'm going to be diving right into it when I get back. But yeah, I think it's time. I haven't really stopped since this COVID lockdown thing. So I just need to sort of breathe. As before, but sound is better. Well, good. I'm here. Ned, enjoyed the rocking horse. Yes, I did too. And Olivia is just a sweetheart and really happy to have her. But I did want to mention also there's going to be another Australian joining us, another Australian woodcarver. We're going to try to get her on the Tuesday after I get back, which is the 9th, I believe. I want to make sure of that. Just want to make sure. Because it actually is going to end up being, yes, Tuesday the 9th. It's actually going to be the next time I do a live stream. All right, and now I just have to make people aware of that. It is going to be another one of those that's 5 o'clock in the afternoon instead of 1 o'clock because of the time difference. They're 14 hours ahead. And so she's going to be joining us at 7 o'clock in the morning, her time. And she's a dear friend of mine for many, many years, Ronnie Sexton. She and I went to school together back in England when we went to the City and Guilds College in London. And that is where I met her. And we have had some fun times together. We both studied traditional carving, and she kind of veered more towards the sculptural pieces, and she does some amazingly huge carvings with a lot of different additions to it. And you'll see what work she does. And so she's going to be joining us Tuesday, June 9th. That is going to actually be the first live stream, the next live stream I'm going to be doing after I get back from taking a week off next week. So on June 9th, 5 o'clock, I'll be putting a note up on my Twitch channel that the time will be different on that day. So we're going to be joining another Australian, and she's going to be sharing some of her work. And yeah, we've had some fun times. She actually came to the U.S. a couple years after we studied, and we basically just drove around the country. It was fun. We went down to Florida. We actually went across, drove all the way from Florida all the way across to California. It was a riot. I think it was probably about 3 or 4 weeks, and we just road tripped, and so wonderful memories there. All right, Neil. Just when I was starting to worry about going into withdrawal, UPS delivered carving in the acanthus leaf. Yay! You can read all that next week, and then I'll be back. Well, thank you for buying my book and enjoy it, John Major. Hello from Alabama. Ozzy. Oh yeah, happy anniversary. Thank you. Ned Stream from Australia. Yes, again June 9th. So we're getting people from all over the world. 3D Sam, we'll miss you. Well, I'll miss you guys too. Rob, hi y'all. Risha, hello, Mary and everyone. Welcome everybody. Now we are going to be finishing up Lady Jane. I worked on her quite a bit yesterday just to sort of work on her curls and stuff. So, but let me just get me out of the way and start working on her. Now I went ahead and worked on the other eye. So let's just zoom right in. Actually, I'm going to lower you down a little bit so you can see a little bit more direct. Sometimes it's hard to see details. Okay, do you see what I did? Now that little hook right there, sort of that little reflection, it is meant to actually show a little bit of a kind of a light reflection, and then we've got the edge here, the edge here. Now, what's interesting about carving in color wood that, where you can't show a color transition, you have to create a corner. So let's say, for instance, the edge of the lips are sometimes, they blend very closely to the mouth, or to the outside and the cheeks. Quite often not having an actual hard edge, but in carving, in order to show the difference of those colors, you actually have to create a little bit harder of an edge or a little bit of a shadow line to symbolize color change. So the same thing with the eye. Obviously, it's a very smooth surface, the eyeball, but you need to really create kind of a shadow to give that illusion of corner. Now, I did end up carving her nostrils, and all I did was basically take a veiner, and this is a bit hard to see, but basically just scooped that out and scooped that out. All right, and then it's a tight corner here, but then this is kind of a soft corner right there, right at that point right there. It's more of a soft corner. It's not a hard edge, but this is actually a hard edge there and a hard edge there. Excuse me. Now her nose is a little bit bigger than this one. Let's just see here. You can kind of see that. I mean, that's just a petite little nose. I think hers is a little wider. But honestly, it's a little bit more realistic. That's probably a little bit more idealized. Okay, we've got Wombat Dundee. Hello. Hello from Australia. And so, yeah, so when I come back on Tuesday after next week, you'll probably be in a better time zone also. Hank, hello from the Netherlands. Zarisha, this is my first time watching you stream. This looks gorgeous. I'm shocked by the lips. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, you can always go back and watch some of the older ones. Most of them have been archived. I think I might have sort of lost some of them just in, hadn't caught them and put them into a highlight quite quick enough. So, well, welcome. Okay, Wombat Dundee, Lady Jane's looking great. Well, thank you, thank you. I really am liking the shape of her face. I'm gonna go ahead and since a lot of the details are pretty much done, I am going to go ahead and start to do something that I really don't like to do, but I'm going to show you what the difference is. Do you see now she's got definitely a choppy face still, a lot of tool marks. And what I'm going to do is, now let me just back up a little bit. So you see, um, I love the things that just sort of show up in the background. I'm like, oh, what is that? I can see it on the, I'm like, oh, it's a light bulb. I'm like, okay, we'll just move that out of the way. Distractions. Okay, so I've got the hair. I think probably maybe do a few little cut marks, sort of like this, maybe with a veiner, just to give a little bit more of a curl, but I'm not going to get too carried away with it. Sometimes you can go so extreme and try to draw every little hair, and then it just gets too busy. But I am not going to end up sanding the hair, and I'm not going to end up sanding the scarf, but I'm going to take her skin and really soften that. Now, unfortunately, I cannot find a type of sandpaper that I actually ended up using them up. When I worked on a recent job, well, a couple months ago, it was for making some custom handrails, and I used sandpaper like I've never used sandpaper. And I wore them all out. Now, these are, this is a piece of sandpaper, a type of sandpaper that is a mesh sandpaper, and it does not leave grit. Now, I cannot remember the name of them, and I cannot locate any of them. I think I had one left that was still had a little bit of of strength left, and I was going to use it on her, but I cannot find it. But anyway, if any of you know what that is, if you want to just put the name of that up, it really is an incredible sandpaper. It's quite expensive. You can get it in squares, you can get it in little strips, but it doesn't leave grit. Now, the thing that I do not like about a regular sandpaper is if I sand her cheek, let's say with just regular sandpaper, grit will be left in the surface, and if I ever want to do any adjusting, if I sand or carve over that surface, it's going to dull my chisels because there's just a little bit of grit that will definitely affect the chisels. In this other sandpaper, there it is, Abranet. That's it. Thank you. And they come in all sorts, I think from 80 grit up to 360, something like that. And I mean, like with any sandpaper, as you wear it and as you use it, you know, a 360 grit might turn into a 500 or something like that eventually. But even so, it still works really, really well. Yes, Abranet, thank you. Let's see, Moondog, are any of these streams going to be on YouTube? I've been debating on whether to do that. I will probably add some of them, the archived ones. I'll have to do a little bit of editing on them, and but I'm kind of debating on whether to do sort of a combination where when I do live stream, it goes on YouTube Live and also on Twitch, and I have to figure out how that does it. But I know there are systems, there's programs that will do it automatically. I just have to do it. It's just at the moment I haven't really haven't gone that direction. I do have a YouTube channel that has quite a few videos on it, but I don't know enough about the YouTube Live to really. I just have to do some research on that. We're just beginning carving and really appreciating your YouTube lessons. Thank you. There you go, YouTube. Thank you. Welcome. Okay, is it extra fine? Yes, it needs to be. At this point, what I'm doing is just going across the surface of the skin. If you take something like a 80 or 120 grit, you're going to leave so many scratch marks in this, and it's really important to make sure. I'm going to try to do the movements along with the grain, but there are going to be some areas that I'm just not going to be able to, like along the lips. In order to do that, I'm going to have to probably go across the grain rather than with the grain. So you want to use some kind of sandpaper that just simply will not really reverse what you're trying to do. Okay, it's available in all the usual grits. 600 is the finest. Yeah, it really is amazing. And that whole argument I use why I don't like to sand is that it leaves grit in the surface. And if you ever, and I have a feeling, just knowing myself, I'll probably end up doing a little bit of carving, and I'm not quite done, but so I always hesitate to use regular sandpaper if there's even the possibility of doing any kind of sanding on it again. Okay, so what I have, these are just things that I don't even know where I get them. This is just a regular, it's 360, probably well used. This doesn't, I don't know if this actually leaves grit, but this is just a 3M, and it's just got that Velcro side, and it works fine. It's just something that I have had around, but you see, as I'm coming around here, and what I really want to be careful of is not going along like the eye. I don't want to lose that sharp edge there, so I need to be careful with that. And if you need to go into little tiny areas, you can wrap this around something, maybe a tiny dowel if there's some hollow areas. Okay, so it's so fine that it's almost burnishing it. But even so, it's going to end up really creating that very smooth skin surface that this young lady has. Now, the interesting thing is, as I'm doing this, any real aggressive tool marks are automatically showing up. Like if there's a real dip somewhere. So you really want to make sure before you do this, because it's going to take a lot to really change the shape of a surface with especially 360 grit. So you really want to make sure that that final surface is pretty accurate, and that all you're doing is just smoothing the surface, taking the tool facets off. If you end up sanding to actually reshape something, you might as well just get a gouge. And it's because it's so much more fun to carve than sand. But there's something satisfying about that when you and then you feel that, and it really ends up having that lovely satiny feel. But I want to have a different texture here than here, and also maybe I'm not gonna sand the rose, which you can't see on the screen there, but so I'm tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sand half of her face, and then you can see the difference. But you see, when it starts getting some awkward shapes or awkward areas, there's going to be sometimes right there and that nice little divot under her chin. It's going to be hard to go with the grain to really get that. So with this very fine sandpaper, it's going to go across the grain. Now, I wouldn't do that with anything very rough. I definitely would not start with like an 80 grit or something like that, because at that point you are actually going to be reshaping it. You're making some serious scratch marks in the surface, and just isn't really very useful in getting where you want to go. Now this, as smooth as this sandpaper is, it's not going to dramatically reshape anything. The only thing that could do is soften the corners. So I'm going to do a little bit of softening of them, just because of the features in her are soft, but just really to try to get tool marks away. Okay, she's getting an apoderm treatment. Yes, she's sounds painful. Wombat Dundee, would be awesome if it was on YouTube as well. I seem to have a lot less problems with buffering on live streams. Their stream is working great here today, though. Good. Well, I'm gonna maybe that'll be something I'll research on my break next week. I don't know. Wait a minute. I just said I was going to work. That's work. That sounds like work. got a little bit of some gouge marks that are left there. She's just got a little bit of acne scars, that's all. So I'm trying to do most of this carving right with the grain, but there are going to be some areas like right there, which is just too tiny to just have that extension of that movement. So just gonna see, like right along there. It'd be very hard to do that brow going with the grain. Even the eyelid there. But as I said, with this number 360, it's okay. If you start seeing real aggressive scratch marks, you've got something that is just a little bit too rough. Will you oil Lady Jane? You know what? I am going to be talking with Mike Miskelly. If you've seen him on the other live streams as talking about finishing, I'm going to ask him. I'm going to ask him suggestions on how to take care of it, and also this thing right there, if there's any kind of thing he can consider doing. I am not too worried about it. I don't know, kind of gives it an interesting character of, you know what, this is wood. It's hand carved. So I'm not too concerned about it, but I'm gonna see if he has any suggestions on how to blend, and yeah, we'll see. I might just simply put an oil finish on it. Sorry, on her. Now that she has eyes, she is actually a her. It's not just an it. She is nearly human. I'm late joining. How's the ferret? Oh, there's a spider coming down. Oh my goodness, do you see that? Right there. Oh, we might have to kill that one. Can you see him? He's actually running around at curls right now. Taituelba, how's the ferret? Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. You're answering it. No worse. Yeah, he's a sweetie. No homework on your holiday. Oh, that's going to be so hard. But I really, really, really am going to try. So if anybody tries to email me next week, I know I am going to be checking my emails, but I am going to attempt to not get carried away and trying to get everything done ahead of time, so I don't really have to worry about it. Now, the only thing I will, if there's people that are struggling, signing up for the website, sometimes people have some difficulty with things like passwords and logging in and stuff like that. I will be there to, not maybe immediately, but I'll be there to help you through all that. Because I will have my computer with me, but we'll see how things go. Okay. Capicha, hello. Rob, is P600 grit. The 360L is a 3M designation for the abrasive film type. Oh, interesting. Oh, yeah, you're right. I was looking at the 360, so there you go. Oh, where are we? So 600 grit, you're saying. So I was going to say 360, I've used the 360 grit sandpaper, and this is very, very fine. So that makes a lot more sense. We have not had complaints of buffering issues. The problem may be on your end. Actually, there's been some as it goes to Twitch, just occasionally, because I notice any kind of replays, I don't know exactly what's happening with that. When I've watched it again, the buffering actually was recorded. So unfortunately, it's kind of a combination of all that. So I don't know exactly how that works or where it comes from. But, oh, hold on a second. Sorry. I just lost my, anyway, lost our contact thing here. Yeah, nice spider. Actually, I just want to know where that spider went because I don't like spiders. No, I don't see him anywhere. John, do you ever use color tints to your carving? Sometimes. What I end up doing is more... All right, I gotta have to start to do the other side now. I'm just gonna go ahead. So you can see the difference before I go any further. You can see the difference between the very smooth surface and with the tool mark. So there is a huge difference, especially on her face, that really does need to be very softened. So I'm gonna go ahead and just continue on. Oh my goodness, can you see that? She's got the spider is right on her face. Okay. See, I don't really want to kill a spider on live stream. I mean, that's just mean because he's probably doing things like eating the bugs that I don't want. Although a spider is a bug that I don't want. He's moving way too fast. This is a little freaky. Okay, I know it's a tiny little spider, but I'm weird about spiders. It's not gonna hurt me. Okay, he's wandering away. So if you hear me just scream in the middle of this, I'm sorry, I'm a girly girl. Especially when it comes to spiders. I may work with wood, but I don't like spiders. You know, one of those. Maybe a woodworker and, you know, tough woodworker. But I don't like spiders. I don't like spiders. Oh, sorry. I got all distracted by the spider. Color tints. What I have used is paints. So I've used acrylic paint sometimes and watered down acrylic paints. Just to maybe have a little bit of the shade of a color, a hint of a color. And occasionally I do full paint. And if you're going to be painting anything like that, really just solid paint, you really want to use be carving in basswood for that, because it's a shame. It would be just a shame to use something that has some really interesting grain to it and then just lose all that character of the grain. Ask Mike to take over your live stream next week. Yeah. I don't think that's going to be happening, but we'll have him as a guest sometime soon. Maybe we need to bring him on, and we'll talk about Lady Jane and what to do with her. What to do with her skin ailments. 3D Sam, it was an itsy bitsy spider. Yeah, but it still freaks me out. Just blew him away. Well, I don't know where he went now, so I think he's harmless, but you just never know. Can't be too careful with spiders in South Carolina. That's true. We've got that sort of weird brown recluse. I don't care what it is. I don't want to be around it. Okay, the problem has been with Twitch doesn't allow to select a lower resolution in some streams. Most streams are okay though. Amazing to see the whole process. Would be cool to take all the videos and put them on high speed. Yeah, that would be neat. And I can do that. I think I can figure out how to do that. And that would probably end up being a YouTube thing. Now, unfortunately, on this side, I think I probably didn't pursue getting that surface or getting the gouge marks out enough, and I'm kind of jumping ahead a bit by sanding it maybe a little too early. And I know that if you can see this, the neck there, there's still way too many gouge marks for me to really be at that sanding point. So I'm getting there, but just not quite. Sometimes turning off low latency setting under advanced house. Yes. And that actually, because I noticed it on my Twitch live stream, I could see that pixelation happening. Okay, CDK, the sanding appears to be blending the glue line. Yes, it does, when you consider the difference between that one and that. So and really, just you want to touch it now. It's because she's so soft. She's so smooth. I want to touch her face. Okay, there's maybe it's a she and there are 100 more. Thanks a lot, 3D Slam. No. Yeah, you're just not making this any easier. We're talking about the spider, I'm guessing. Yes. Yeah, as a developer, fixing one-off issues is always a challenge. Yes, War Machine is the person who ends up sorting out all of my internet issues and all of my website issues. It actually has developed my online school website, or the updated version of it. Did a complete overhaul. And that was about, what, 3 years ago? And he's always there to sort out any issues. I would not have a clue how to sort out some of the things that you've had to deal with. Tell the story of the wolf spider in your shop when you were teaching. Oh, it's gonna creep me out just telling it. Okay. Well, I had a client come into my shop and we were just talking about the job, and all of a sudden this big spider, I mean it was maybe about an inch. I mean it wasn't massive, but it was about an inch. His body was about an inch, which just is really freaky. And I thought, uh-oh, this guy has got to go. He was walking right in my shop, right where I carve. And I thought, no, we're not going to be able to do anything with this one. So instead, because it's just big and creepy, and I threw something at it because I didn't actually want to step on it. I was like, oh, that was just too close. So I threw something at it, and all of a sudden, I saw hundreds of spiders jump off of his back and just spread across my workshop. And I actually, it was what was interesting. My client was just absolutely terrified, more terrified of the spiders than I was. And he is literally jumping out my door and screaming. And I was pretty freaked out too, but I was laughing so hard at his reaction that it was just about peed myself. And here I am, like, trying to kill all these little baby spiders, having this imagining that there's going to be 200 or 300 spiders just sort of nesting around my workshop, and never being able to go in there ever again. And it was, yeah. Fortunately, I discovered that I guess while they're still on the mom, they still are really dependent on them. So probably not very many of them survived in my workshop. I mean, I really don't like killing things like that, but that one needed to go. I'm sorry, and all of our little babies, sorry, needed to go too. But that was a bit of a freaky But now, every time I see that, and my client, we don't say anything, but there's sort of this kind of knowing look in his eyes, like, don't say anything, don't say anything. Don't say anything, like how I screamed at the top of my lungs and ran out the door. uh, okay. Ooh, yeah, that was bad. And I never really saw any evidence of any more, but they were nasty. Okay. Rest my case. Yes, a bunch of small spiders hopped off the spider's back. It was a she. Yes, that was definitely. She was definitely a she, and that was creepy. Okay. Zarisha. Um, my mom was very arachnophobic, and I heard her scream in her bathroom. She told me to throw a shoe at it. I did. Same thing happened. That was terrifying. My mom almost burnt the place down. Oh my goodness. Yeah. At that point, you just have all that. You just imagine all of these little baby spiders coming out of the woodwork. Ugh. Not setting foot on John's Island anymore. It's a jungle out there. Yes. I know. Okay, well, let's just see here. Where are we? Well, I think she's looking quite sweet. And just trying to find, here we go. This is the little, this is the little riffler file. And I'm just going to go in here and do a little bit of detailing on that area and kind of create a little bit more of a dimple, and this one doesn't have quite as much, so sorry, get my head out of the way. And then just any area on the inside there. Here, let's go pick her nose a little bit just to clean that out. Sorry, Lady Jane. It's so rude picking somebody else's nose. And the same thing here, just clean up that inside corner. And here's a little secret. I have a nasty little toothbrush that I use for my wood carving, and brush her eyes and brush her nose, and then I'll brush her teeth. And the shadow, actually, I'm wanting to actually deepen that. Do you see how the dimple on that side is a little deeper than on this side? But I think it might just be a shadow also, a shadow line. But we'll see. Okay. I'm always worried about sleeping with your mouth open. Oh, come on now. Don't even put that thought in my mind. Thought I recognized your other username, wasn't sure. All right, makeup is next. Now let's see. I'm just going to back her up. And what I need to do, this part here, and just lower down. Haven't. Whoops. You know what? Let me shift it over a little bit more here. Because I actually haven't finished doing the leaves. And that's, oh, and one thing that I did the other day was actually carve the little strap on her dress. And so what I'm going to do, there is still, it's really hard to see depth when on the video, but there's basically about an eighth of an inch height difference between here, the surface, and this surface. Now this is okay, it's coming in there, but I need to take this section down, and because I'm going in the right grain direction from here, all right, that's what I just need to be careful of. I cannot really come back in that direction very easily because it's going to be going right against the grain. So I'm just going and taking off that surface there and lowering it down. I'm trying to get as close to the edge of the rose as possible. Now, notice I'm back to using quite a curved one. This is actually a number 9 because I'm really trying to get in there and removing quite a bit of wood. Okay. Need to focus a bit. Oh, is that not? Is that better? Tagging is the same, new to Twitch. We're still new to, yes, very new. Been doing this a couple months, but still learning along the way. We're learning on the job. Most times I can go to options. There are many different options on the quality settings. Sometimes it's 720 only or something like that. Okay. All right, trying to figure out resolution issues. So I'm trying to create a very comfortable, smooth transition between all of this, as if the rose was not there and there's just the smooth skin across her chest. And we'll obviously it's not very smooth now because I'm using a very curved gouge, but I'm just removing a lot of wood. Once I get down to pretty close to that final surface, then I'm going to use a flatter gouge. That sounded my kind of ASMR. Now somebody told me about that ASMR. Can you explain what that is? I think that's what they mentioned. It was like this very soothing sound that you can actually listen to or watch, or is it a YouTube or something? I can't remember, but it's basically just a very soothing sound. I can't remember what it stands for though. I think that's what that means, right? I have seen that before. Automatic sensory meridian response. Thank you. I knew there was something like that. So all different sounds that will cause that soothing sensation. And yes, gouges along wood, just scraping, except maybe my voice should get out of the way so you can actually hear it. All right, there we go. Yes, that's pretty much it. People like different sounds. Some people get no reaction from it. Others do. Tater got what the letters stand for. I never remember. All right. And There you go. You can read the definition, the Wikipedia definition of it. Squishing sounds make me cringe. Thank you, William. Yes, I will enjoy my time off. Hopefully, I won't get caught up in my normal routine. I'm trying to sort of veer from my normal routine. That's the hard part, though. Okay, and then what I'm going to do here is define the edge of this leaf. And because this is actually, right now, it's hard to tell from that side, but this is actually raised off of her skin about almost a half an inch at this point, which is just a little bit too extreme. I'm going to end up sort of flowing this down. I'll leave this edge high, but because of the process of carving the rose first, and then carving the skin and the surface of her skin, it actually went a lot lower than I had originally thought. So this ends up actually being raised a little bit higher. Now I know that there was a question, was it last week or maybe Wednesday, about the rose that looked like it might have been just basically stuck to her skin, but it actually, if you look at the stem, it's actually tucked into her dress. So right there, it actually goes underneath. This is the edge of her dress right there, and it's tucked into that. So that's how that's held on. Okay, wonderful carving. Enjoy time off. Thank you. Leave your computer behind. I just can't do that. I've got some chores to do, so I'll be here listening, but not in chat. Okay, well, if now I'm not going to be here next week at all. I'm taking the week off, and then I'll be back again. I'm doing it Tuesdays and Thursdays after I get back. So I'm going to be slowing it down a bit now. I think people are getting back to work a bit more, and you know, summer's coming, so it's probably going to be a lot of people doing other things. And I think the sort of my attempt at distracting everybody from all this COVID stuff, it's not as necessary as it was. And I also am really excited to have some great commissions coming in, and I will be sharing those, but the reality of it is I have to get working on them. So I will be doing live streaming. I'll continue to do live streaming, but it's going to end up being just Tuesdays and Thursdays at 1 o'clock, starting after next week. Next week I'm going to have off, and then I will be back. And also just a reminder that when I come back on June 9th, the very next live stream that I'm going to be doing is going to be my friend Ronnie Sexton in Australia, and we are going to be changing the time so that she doesn't have to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to be changing the time to 5 o'clock like we did with Olivia yesterday. So 5 o'clock on June the 9th. And that's going to be a lot of fun to see what she does. Very unique carvings. More sculptural pieces. But she was trained in the traditional design and technique of carving. But really ended up doing kind of her own thing and focusing more on on sculptural pieces. Okay, let's see. Always remember your stream as a bright spot in the lockdown. Oh, well, thank you for that. It actually has been mine also. Just getting together with so many people, and it was really wonderful to be able to kind of bring people together. And you know, we're all dealing with the same things, all pretty much in the same position around the world. So fortunately, and I hope that this continues, fortunately things are beginning to get normalized, and really look forward to that. Okay, so just doing some final details on that. Now this, I need to take that down even further. It's still quite high. And then we can have that look like it's sort of curling up, like a nice little twist at the very end there, so it looks like it's curling up right underneath the rose. The rose is looking awesome. Thank you very much. And I think I'm going to end up thinning down the petals a little bit more. But, you know, like I said, at some point I just need to know when to stop, because there's going to come a time when, well, first of all, there's coming a time very soon where I'm just not going to have time to work on her. And I just need to know when to stop. And I would say at this point, she's probably 95% there. Okay. I mean, her face, I think, is very close. I'll do a little bit of touch up around here just to do more cleanup. But really, at this point, it's just going around and kind of fussing and doing that final detail. And I do that fussing a lot. Sometimes it's really hard to stop. I know that when I do my online classes, and record the videos for my online school, so often I'm like, okay, well, I'm done, and then okay, bye. Thanks for watching. And then I'm look at it about 10 minutes later going, oh, I have to continue, I have to fix that. And then I turn on the recorder again and continue on. And so that's that's where Taito Alba has to edit all that stuff out and make it look like it's make it look like it's streamlined and all planned that way. Because more often than not, there's always something else. All right, and let's see, where are we? So that coming in like that. Now I'm curious, Wombat Dundee, are you in the Melbourne area? Because my friend Ronnie Sexton, who's going to be the next guest on June 9th, she teaches at the Guild there. And I know they bring in a lot of Americans to teach over there at the Melbourne Guild. But she teaches classical carving there. So if you wanted to learn that type of thing, I definitely encourage you. She learned from some very good carvers over in England. She's very talented herself. Western, so, oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I guess it's kind of a big country, so that's a long ways away. Yeah, of course, because you said it was 1 o'clock there when we started the live stream, and I think it's like 3 o'clock in the morning there. Do you ever get any sleep? Okay. So just do a little bit of undercutting to define those, and I'm hesitant to actually carve the vein lines, but you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and do that because I do want to show you how that's. I'm just going to do a little V cut. Let me just get my V chisel. I'm just afraid that I'll probably end up working on these a little bit more, and I always hesitate to really finish this off because there's always adjusting. So that's all right though. And just do a few little random secondary veins. And this is just a 3mm V chisel. And let's do that one. Now it's going right against the grain. It's tricky when you got all this shape happening because I'm going to have to go in this direction. Sometimes it's just really tricky to figure out the grain. Okay, there's that, and then there's one more here, which I'm not real happy with the shape of it. Sleep is overrated. Lady Jane put on a guest appearance after you apply the final finish. Oh, definitely. She's not going anywhere. I carved her just for the fun of it, so it's not, she's not going anywhere. And she's going to be hanging out with me for a while. I'm not quite sure what to do with that one. It's kind of boring and flat right now, so I could do it sort of twisting up that way, or I could have it curl down, which I think that actually might work a little bit better because it's kind of curling. This one has a nice twist up. This one, just gonna have it kind of droop down. So let's go ahead and do that. It's right at that point where the grain is switching, so I kind of gonna have to figure it out and kind of play around with it. I like to make the twists and leaves do the sort of S shape rather than this, but sometimes you just have to make it a very gentle curve. But I usually like to do some sort of S shape, or it just adds a little bit more excitement to the shape. But I'm gonna go ahead and create more of an S shape along this edge. Again, just to give it a little bit more variety and not just have this plain shaped leaf. And we'll define that. All right, and then the V-chisel. Now this is where the grain switches right in the center of that leaf, because the grain's going this direction and there's kind of a high spot there. So, oh my goodness, it's 2 o'clock already. All right, let me finish this one off. So this way, oops. Nope, it's not gonna work. Start there, there, and bear with me, we'll come that direction. Whoops, nope, it's right there. Why, that's right at that. I have to figure out where that high spot is, and it's just. Sorry, I know I'm probably right in the way. Okay. CTK, congrats on your anniversary and best wishes for many, many more. Thank you. Enjoy your time off. Thanks for all you've shown us, and thanks Taito Alba for your technical skills. See you on the 9th. Yes, thank you, CTK. Thank you for being a regular watcher. Yes, enjoy your wedding anniversary. Thank you for all your time into this, and the moderators too. Yes. Yes, thank you, War Machine and Taito Alba. That's an interesting graphic, War Machine. Where'd he come from? All right, now I'm just gonna redirect, and I want to do sort of a more direct on view of. Okay, do you see what? Hang on, focus. Okay, do you see what I did with this? And now I can take my little toothbrush. And so this one is just rounding down. This one's got a little bit of an S shape and a hollow there. This one also has a little bit of a twist to it. This one, I haven't put the main center lines as the vein lines in there, because I'm going to end up taking that down a little bit more and maybe reshaping it. But it really, again, this is more the fussing area. But anyway, let's take one last look at her face, and I'm really excited the way that that is coming together with just the smoothness. Brush her eyeball. All right, let me just take her out of the clamps. Hang on. And just get that bigger and get rid of that. Okay, so let's just take a look how she's coming along. So yeah, really, really excited about how that's coming together. The rose is looking balanced. I still need to sort of to maybe go across the surface with a gouge that is going to smooth off the skin a bit more before I sand it. But I'm really happy with the way that her face is, and the eyes also. But I'm not really too bothered by the crease or the line down there. I mean, it doesn't really affect anything too badly. But if we look around here, we've got the sort of the straps coming there, and then we've got her the scarf curving like that. All right, and that's very close to being finished. Now I wanted to show you something, one other thing. This is actually going to be cut right there at an angle, right there and down. I actually left a little bit of wood there, so it's going to be cut like that, and then also cut like that. So that line right there, no, sorry, that's the line where I'm actually going to take a bandsaw and cut that so that you have that real traditional bust shape. And then, of course, at some point, this guy's going to have to come off, but I'm not going to do that until I'm really, really confident that I don't have to clamp her anywhere. So, anyway, let's just see. Abisha, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, 20 years. Do you ever use scrapers to smooth gouge tool marks? You know what? I never have. I think maybe because there's too many various surfaces. You'd have to have a lot of different shaped scrapers. You could probably maybe scrape across like the surface of her cheek or something like this. But no, never really learned that. Use that tool. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Well. It's been fun, and everybody have a wonderful week. Go take next week and just relax and have fun, and maybe get your carving chisels out and just do something, carve something. So, well, thank you everybody for joining me, and again, the next time it will be June 9th. And it'll be a 5 o'clock in the afternoon one. I'll put a notice up there, but remember that it's not at the 1 o'clock, it's at 5 o'clock because we're going to have Ronnie Sexton as a guest in Australia. So thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful break. And I will see you in a little over a week. All right. Bye-bye. Lady Jane says bye. Bye-bye. Oh, no, she's starting to talk. All right, bye-bye. Happy carving.